Hey guys, it's Andrea, Confessions of a Book Addict. It's been a while, I know, but I want to talk to you guys because my son and I went to see Patrick Rothfuss at an event in Barnes & Noble in Tribeca. I've been reading The Name of the Wind. I actually had not finished The Name of the Wind when we went and saw him. So I was afraid I was going to get spoiled for it because the event was because his 10th anniversary edition of The Name of the Wind just recently came out. And I was afraid I was going to be spoiled, but he didn't let any spoilers get through, and people tried, and he's like, that's a great question. Next. So it was a lot of fun. He was really funny. He was very nice because my son was there, and there was a couple other kids there, and he was good with them. So I was preparing and reading The Name of the Wind, which is a very good epic fantasy book. So it's the story of Kavath, who is talking to a chronicler about his life. It almost feels like he's like the chosen one telling how his story came about, and it's told in a lot of flashbacks. You get to see a lot of different parts of his life, and it's really good. I've never read anything written like this before, and as I was reading it, I dropped it in the tub. So it's a little destroyed, but he still signed it for me, which was cool. So I haven't finished it yet, actually. I'm on 400 and something in it, but I'm really enjoying it so far. This is definitely my type of book. And then this is the 10th anniversary edition, like one of the most beautiful books ever in the whole world. It's got the red edges. It's got on the back, Lin-Manuel Miranda blurred it. He's actually an executive producer for they're making a show out of this, and he's producing it, Lin-Manuel Miranda, so I'm very excited about that because that combines Hamilton and epic fantasy, and that's amazing in my mind. And we also got, while we were there at Barnes & Noble, we got the second book, and all of these are signed, but it's the same signature for each book. So the second one, I have no idea what happened in it because I haven't finished the third. And then this one, I think, is a short stories based in that world. And this one he signed to my son, which was nice. So I'm obsessed with Brandon Sanderson at the moment. So when I started reading Brandon Sanderson, I started where I think everyone should start with him. I started with Mistborn from the Final Empire. I have not read this in a while. It's Allomancy that's through it. And it's basically about what happens if the Dark Lord won, and it's just really beautifully written. This is the UK covers. So this is the first one. The second one's Well of Ascension, and then Hero of Ages, the third one in it. There's actually, I believe, 4 more. I have the Alloy of Law somewhere, that it takes place like 3,000 years after everything in these books happened. And the one I just recently read from him is The Way of Kings. It's the Stormlight Archive. This is the first one in it. I'm listening to the second one now, which is called Words of Radiance. I don't have a physical copy of it because these are so big that it's gotten to the point where I can't buy all the books in the series, or they'll be just like stacked on my floor. And it's a complicated world, but there used to be these people called the Knights of Radiant who would protect people, and then people have things called shards blades, where if you have that and a shard plate, you're basically protected from anything. And you know, it's again another one of Sanderson's where he does like a hierarchy of people, and the people who have the shard blades can, you know, basically kill anybody, as many people as they can, and so they're at the top. And then there are the slaves that are throughout these, and these are from multi-perspective points of views. And the man who does the audiobooks, Michael Kramer, he does Sanderson's work, he does Robert Jordan's work. He's amazing. Like, I'd almost rather listen to the stories than read, except that Brandon Sanderson hired someone to do art. If you guys can see that. So there's lots of art and maps throughout. So it's good to have the book in your hands. Also, so again, this is book 1 in the Stormlight Archive. There's supposed to be 10 of them, which I love my series. I already ordered Oathbringer, which if you go on, I guess you can go on anything, but I went on Barnes & Noble because I'm a member, and you can get a signed copy of Oathbringer, which is the third book in the series. I'm also reading, or I was reading, The Eye of the World. And The Eye of the World is the first book in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. I really enjoyed this. There's 14 books. He actually passed away after writing, I believe, 11 of them. And then Brandon Sanderson is the one who finished out the series to the 14 books. And I'll just read it. The wheel of time turns and ages come and pass. What was, what will be, and what is may yet fall under the shadow. Let the dragon ride again on the winds of time. So again, it's a very complex magic system. To me, it was a lot, very much reminded me of Lord of the Rings. Until the very end, it started to kind of get away from that. And I could see that in the next upcoming books, it's going to just probably divert even more, which to me is good, because you don't want to read the same book over again. And shame on me, I have not finished the Lord of the Rings trilogy yet. I have the last one left. So this is book 1 in the 14-book series, and it's called The Wheel of Time. And I really enjoyed it. I did. So I also listened to Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This was okay. This wasn't one of my favorites, because to me, I thought it was going to be more sci-fi, but it almost felt like Lord of the Flies, because in this one apparently they're young, and as the books go on they get older, but it was very high school survival of the fittest, type of thing, rather than concentrating on the sci-fi part of it. But I have a friend who really likes these books, so I'm assuming that they get much better as they go along. And it's not that I disliked it, it just wasn't what I expected, I think. And then there's a few books I want to show you that I haven't read, but I have on my radar. But this is the only V.E. Schwab book I have not read. Vicious, which I've only heard good things about. So again, I don't know that much about these, but that one, I have Brandon Sanderson's first book, Elantris, his first published book. According to him, he wrote like 13 books before he ever got anything published. One that actually turned into a graphic novel, White Sands. I got this one because it's signed from Brent Weeks. I'm just showing you guys this real quick. And this was like The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. And my friend really recommends these, and this was impossible to find, so when I saw it in Barnes & Noble, I'm like, alright, I'll grab it and see where it goes. So I really just wanted to get back into making videos for you guys. I'm expecting my Shelf Love crate tomorrow, so hopefully I'll make a video for that. And let you guys know what I've been reading. I've diverted away from YA a little bit for now. I'm really enjoying the epic fantasies. And, alright, keep reading.